Tony might also be taken up here. And
We're currently experiencing some technical difficulties. Once again, hope you guys understand we are trying to do our best, make this go as smoothly as possible, but I guess the storm is kind of affecting quality.
nakamute ako. Wala, parang sa server ata ng ano eh, nung sponsors. Pero tingnan ko kung ano magagawa ko.
CR muna ako saglit habang ano.
A blue team tower has been destroyed.
Yes, we're gonna see here that there is gonna be an engagement again with Overfly almost taken out at that moment. And iPod Pro is just doing some wonders for the Tactile. Nunu is in the area. That's gonna be an engagement again. Fusilade is gonna be used. Nunu is gonna be in heaps of trouble. F1 does his best, but the Metamorphosis is not gonna connect. And so far, Freedom United has been pushed back with the advantage of that Crixie and also the Kafeni, who was just able to get a lot of the damage in those free looks with Tony on the front. And when everyone tries to descend, and TNZ just stops them with the Dragon's KSSA is going to spot out the members of the Talent. They're going in hot against Overfly, who's going to be using the Jealous Duo, who's going to be taken out as well. And TNZ does his best, goes with the Key Strike and the Dragon's Bane as well. Agnes Grip has been used, and that secures a lot of the kills. And iPad Pro goes in. That's going to be another kill. F1 is going to be taken, but he has the Resurrection Rune. Tony almost gets taken out as well, but still has his shield and a speed up as well. KSSA and F1 are going in for the defense. Are they going to be enough to actually stop the tide? The DTAC Talon are actually procuring here into the map, and another hit is gonna happen with iPad Pro going in for the Moonfall and a secure kill again. F1 almost gets taken out, but that's gonna be a close miss for Moop. Are they going in for the push? And Moop just goes in hard, tries to get that kill, but he does secure it. It's a 4v1. F1 is doing his best, but he is going to be taking out the Fox and goes in with a disengage. But with himself, he is not going to be able to stop DTAC Talon by himself.
A fantastic win here by DTAC Talon. A dominating one perhaps. Kinda saying that the game number 1 was just a small hiccup. Now, tying up the score, DTAC Talon are looking to secure more wins. They started off with some of the rotations, and once they got their tempo, things got out of hand. For BRU, they can't match the aggression here of DTAC Talon. And it started with the first blood even by iPod Pro, translating into 2-0 actually after the hostage taking by Tony. And as the game progresses, so does the aggressive side of DTAC Talon goes, making their way towards objectives and also applying so much threat towards Difoxen, getting assassinations. And it's kind of like DTAC Talon just baiting out that Elsu pick because they know they can handle it with the amount of gap close that they do have with Moop, NTNZ, even Hyper Pro going in hard with all of those damage, and BRU just can't answer back.
Yes, and so far on the highlights, we're gonna see DTAC Talon actually taking in all of those engagements to their advantage. It's just that the early game advantage that DTAC Talon had allowed them to spiral the control to their part. Wherein they are just gonna control everything from the objectives to all of the clashes. And most of the time, it just took iPad Pro a bit of time to burst down anyone. F1, Overfly, everyone was just easy targets for that mage.
Oh, it's just a big hassle now. And I mean, DTAC Talon with a strong win in this series, and this time we saw a more collected version of DTAC Talon. Well, even game number 1 was very collected of them. It just kind of had a shortcoming with regards to the damage and also the amount of wombo combo that BRU had during game number 1. This time they patched it up, having a superior drafting, even for baiting out the Elsu pick, and they know we haven't even seen the Elsu a while ago pop off. It's more so just the Foxen trying to go in with snipes, but no, it was either dodged or even getting dived upon by the members of DTAC Talon, knowing that they can just engage onto them without any or most of the casualties happening against them. Moop was just going in, especially with the amount of follow-up that the rest of the members of DTAC Talon have. Erez going in with a Fusillade, Tony with the Agnes Grip, getting that -1 towards the members of BRU, and slowly but surely getting those takedowns, and those takedowns allowed them to just up their lead and get this win.
Yep, and definitely with that kind of performance from DTAC Talon, in terms of not being, not actually picking out all of the strong heroes and not expending their choices, we're gonna see a win here for DTAC Talon, where it's gonna be affecting the best of 7 series. I always try to take into account whenever you go to a draft on how much resources do you expend to actually get the win. And in terms of preserving their picks, DTAC Talon has been doing a good job. They're not really going hot like what we saw from Buriram. And we're gonna see here that Buriram United was not able to clinch any kind of lead from DTAC Talon. It was just a slow moving curve, and once all of those mid-game spikes actually happened for DTAC Talon, it was just all over, where iPad Pro can just burst down the Foxen, Nunu, F1, and Overfly. KSSA was even one of those targets, even with a tanky build on that Richter. He was just bursted like it was nothing. And them actually giving out Ares a lot of freebies on the kills, on assists, on the objectives. It's just so hard for Buriram United to actually go back with this kind of lineup, because they were already aiming for the early game as well on the composition that they have. They are a glass cannon composition. It's just that it is hard to actually compete against DTAC Talon, who has all of the front and back line covered with the Awoy and TNZ and Tony on the attacking end, and giving in a lot of space for iPad Pro and actually Ares to work out from. And we're gonna see that the MVP of game number 2 is gonna be iPad Pro on the Crixie with a 71.4% KP, 505 KDA, 66k damage dealt. Roll goal difference is 731, MVP points 12.3. This is gonna be his 9th MVP on this tournament, so he is also one of the mid laners to watch out for. Besides Nunu, he is also one of the best mid laners that we know in Arena of Valor.
Yeah, a very strong performance by iPad Pro. Definitely having a bit of a comeback in a sense, trying to carry out the team along with the other teammates after their short hiccup in game number 1. Now with a more solid approach in their games are looking to secure even more as the series progresses.
Yes. And before we do go to game number 3, we do apologize for all the technical issues. If the screen is black for the English broadcast, it is now finally fixed. So for the series, we're hoping that no more technical issues is going to be rising up. And before we go to game number 3, we're actually going into a very short break. So this is the Arena Valor International Championships 2021. My name is Vittorio and this is Kiang. We'll be right back after this short break.
Relax. I'm not going to hurt you much.
An enemy has been defeated. You have defeated
In the area, look at the stuns coming in from Kwang. I know there might be caught out. Breaker being committed here. A lot of damage as well. He is going to be taken out with the Venom. The shock is going to be used for the disengagement. But they're going to be casting out the Nelson with the double coming in from Wong TD. Maris.
Because of that crowd control from Nunu, he stops the advance, and now they are going to be able to be backing away successfully. Kago's in though. That is going to be an extended team fight here at the Red Jungle, but a power surge did not connect. He flickers and tries to go in once again, and they do get the first blood. Now they're kind of overextended. Red gets taken out in the process. Can they get a kill onto Koa? A little bit more grouped up in this sense. They do have the Florentino Verdubi into the top lane for the meantime. Maybe in the mid lane as he is split pushing, but as the double trouble misses, that's going to be engaged here by Maris. An immediate flank here by V Gaming, causing a lot of trouble here for Saigon Phantom, and they can't escape. It's just Z-Wave, the only member surviving on the side of...
Actually going in for the play. That's a flicker, and that's an Agnes grip being used. Hey, goes in hot. Move might be in danger, but he's gonna use the metamorphosis, and that's going to be the Dark Dominion. Anyway, tries his best to get some damage in. Koa as well is gonna be boxing out Tony. He's just getting that 3 hit, and there's gonna be a 1v1 duel between Kapeni and also Move winning out that engagement. That's gonna be terrific for them. Metamorphosis is gonna be used by Move as well. Look at the damage that
After ever, they are going to be choked out the members of DTAC Talent. They have a good position. They are going to be going on a sneaky. Is this going to be a sneaky base race? Are they actually going to try and go in with a backdoor? This is going to be insane. Can they actually do it? The recalls are coming through, but Hong Kong attitude, man.
Welcome back to the Arena Valor International Championships 2021. My name is Vittorio, this is Kiyong, and we are now at game number 3 of this best of 7 series between Buriram United and also DTAC Talent. And so far, we are at a series tie of 1 score each. So this is a very close fight, and we've already predicted this kind of result wherein we're going to see a very close match. But in terms of the potential and also the match we saw in game number 2, it was more of a dominant show for DTAC Talent, who beats up Buriram United in terms of, saving up picks, getting all of the right conditions for themselves, and they knew how big of a gap closer that they had on their lineup, which can actually just zero in on that double marksman comp that Buriram United actually fielded.
It's kind of like a multi-layered approach that DTAC Talent had towards that game. It started off, it's kind of like their win condition started off during the pick and bans, and we do see the amount of kind of like the how strategic and also in baitful, is that a correct term? How DTAC Talent sets up those traps not only inside the game but also during the drafting phase, allowing BRU to actually take that Elsu and then them drafting against it, and they also managed to execute it during the game itself. You talked about DTAC Talent winning a little bit with regards to having those reserve picks on the other meta heroes, and it was really shown in that game number 2. So moving towards game number 3, we can see now that DTAC Talent can be a little bit more meticulous in a sense with regards to securing these kinds of games. They also can strive in long series, which they have shown against Saigon Phantom, our very first game 7. So BRU having to not have that kind of setup just yet can be a big factor as well with regards to them being slowed down in a sense, because we saw them usually having a strong start, but as the series progresses, there is a chance on them trailing off, and that's something that DTAC Talent can abuse in this series, especially when their picks kind of run out. That's when BRU can be a bit concerning.
Yep, and if DTAC Talent is gonna be expending all of their picks, it's just gonna be conserving their picks all throughout the series, they are gonna have that better advantage as the series go forward. Not like what we're seeing from Buriram United, who already expended a lot of those big picks for themselves, like the Elder, the Elsu, the Florentino, already out of the count. Liliana as well, one of those major Pokeneros that has seen success here in the playoffs, also not resulting to a win, is gonna be affecting the chances of Buriram United going forward. And even with the Richter, actually not really the biggest pick for Buriram United, but still, it is remains to be seen if BRU can actually bounce back from their game 2 loss. But because whenever we see Buriram United actually losing out on the first series or the second series, they are not gonna get good results. And we know that Buriram United has been a team that has a win streak in terms of getting the series to to a 2-0 advantage, and then them actually not securing game number 2 means that they are struggling from the talent.
Closeout has always been a problem for BRU. But we did see them get a good closeout in some of their series. Let's see if that can still be maintained. But so far, the Taktalan are catching them off guard. And they are just handling them so well, especially in the second game. Can we see the Taktalan continue on that kind of approach, or will BRU be the ones to kind of gain control again in this game number 3, as they are gonna be on the blue side, the Taktalan onto the red side still. And now, as the pick and bans come through, no more Elsu on the side of BRU, no more Superman, and actually both are still available on the side of the Taktalan. So now BRU are going to be removing some of those heroes. Lubu taken away already here by BRU. Not much, so many options still remain on the side of the Taktalan.
Yep, they still have Elsu for themselves, and of course, the Taktalan saving up a lot of picks based on the global ban and picks as well is actually going to work well for them. While Buriram United still going in hot with the first pick Tolan. They want to secure that mage, one of the most proficient junglers right now. If you get the lead with the Tolan and if he snowballs, he's going to be hard to stop in most of the situation. We can see in the other games that whenever a Tolan is paired up with another damage dealer, you're gonna see a boost onto the winning condition of that team. And with Buriram United securing a Tolan, maybe adding a Raz or Quixie is gonna be beneficial for them, as long as it is someone that can burst down as well. Because if you pair that with a Tolan and then you use the damage utilities of the Tolan skill plus another damage burst hero, usually you secure a kill, irregardless if it's a tank, a mage, or a fighter even. So those tankiness of the current fighter meta can actually be mitigated with that Tolan pick, and that is one of the reasons why he is one of the most prominent junglers right now here in AIC 2021.
We do see, BRU prioritizing on that as well. So this is a good sign coming in from them. Airi and Malok immediately locked in here by BRU. And again, we do see the hover on the Azenka. Wukong, not really the highest much of a success on this particular hero. But the Taktalan might actually have a plan on this a particular hero. But what I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on this on the Malok pick so far here on BRU?
Well, we've seen Malok actually being successful on the last series that we watched, where V Gaming was able to use it. I mean, HKA was able to use it very, very well, just because he was paired up with someone that could sustain and dive. And in this kind of lineup of Buriram United, Malok actually falls in to effectivity if you're gonna be paired up with people that goes in, and that is exactly what we're seeing on Buriram United. You're seeing a Tolan who needs to get up close and personal to deal the maximum efficiency on his abilities, and of course the Airi, who in the late game can actually burst out everyone from not everyone. The tanks are going to be an exception, but if he's gonna be able to close out on that Elsu, the Zill, and even if there is gonna be a mage in the Talon, it is definitely a sure kill. Just because of how good the Irie scales into the late game. The problem for an Irie is always his start, which is she's actually weak, and when she doesn't have the damage items available to her, most of the 1v1s always fall to his opponents, especially
Yeah.
with A's actually paired up to actually face a Florentino, a Key, Ryoma. Those kinds of matchup makes it hard for Irie to actually scale well, where she's gonna be harassed most of the time. In the first 3 picks of Buriram United, that's a lot of damage and a lot of diving potential. While on the Talon, we're seeing a Zill, a lot of suppressive power on the Elsu, and of course the classic Wonder Woman, where we see, I feel Ipa Pro is gonna be using, or it's gonna be on the support position.
And I like how you talked about the Irie, kind of struggling in the early game and also kind of losing on those duels. This can be something that DTAC Talon are going to be wanting to capitalize upon as the final picks come in here on the side of BRU. DTAC Talon have the Ryoma and the Zill so much engaged again on their side, along with the damage, of course, with the Zill later on isolated targets. BRU are setting up for pick-offs with the Laville and the Raz being hovered right now. So much engaged as well on their hand. So maybe this can pop off good on the side of BRU. It can be concerning nonetheless, as DTAC Talon are looking for their final pick to complete their draft. After having removed the Lorian, Richter, the Errol, and the Aoi on the choices, they can still go for one more engage, and they are going in with the Yenna being hovered as of the meantime. They have a lot of time to think about this, whether they are going on a much of the meta picks as of the moment, or are they going to be going on something of a pocket pick to have this good long series preparation.
Yeah, and we're gonna see most of the glass cannons on the lineup of the Tactile, the Zill, the Elsu, the Ryoma, the Yenna as well. Yenna is a good fighter in terms of being able to disable and silence people as long as he hits that chakram. But the problem here is that, is it gonna be enough to actually outlast the damage coming in from Buriram United with an Airi, a Tulin, a Raz, and also the initiation coming in from Laville? The late game potential of Laville scales crazily on the late game. So that is also a factor. Wherein even if the effectivity of Raz and Tulin falls kind of low in the late game, it is going to be supplemented by the Laville. And you're adding Malak to the mix, who can just shred the shield of that Wonder Woman with his true damage. Let's see if DTAC Talon is actually up to the task to actually out-damage the members of Buriram United. These guys are just packing in a lot of heavy hits for their abilities and also their capabilities. Ares needs to be very, very smart on getting those hits right onto the Foxen to actually deter him to use the double trouble to initiate on that Elsu.
Now let's see who's gonna be coming on top on this. Will it be BRU or DTAC Talon? It is gonna be the third game of this best of 7 series. We do see the pros and cons of both teams. We do see the win conditions of them. Let's see who is gonna be executing better in this game number 3. Nunu with the Raz pick in the mid lane, looking to get these pokes with the power surges again to kind of pressure the members of the DTAC Talon, especially that iPod Pro is gonna be here in the mid lane. So kind of like a high damage composition on the side of both teams. but they have to rely on very good initiations for sure. Double trouble, especially for the members of BRU, and for DTAC Talon, they're gonna be relying on kind of the mistakes coming in from BRU, especially when they hesitate on engaging. The snipes can come through on the side of Erez, and if someone gets isolated, Moop is gonna be there to assassinate those people. Erez is looking to disengage for the meantime. He is being searched upon here by the members of BRU as they are trying to take the Spirit Sentinel, but since Moop is also here, they are looking to actually contest. A little bit late on that as DTAC Talon finally realizes and falls back for the meantime. 28 seconds before the objective rises, and we can see that BRU might actually be prioritizing the Dragon later on since they have enough wave clear on the bot side. Overfly not really that much struggling against NTNZ in this early game.
Yep, and this has been a classic matchup so far. We're seeing whenever an IW gets picked up, Iena is going to be the answer. And that says a lot on the mobility. iPad Pro going in hot. Nunu is going to be hit with that tornado and also the snipe, forcing out that flicker. So he doesn't have the flicker ready for the explosive KO to get that combination in. And they have a chance to actually secure one objective. It's either the Abyssal Dragon or the Dark Slayer. But KSSA and F1 is in the area and drags the Abyssal Dragon out of the pit. It is going to give some time for Nunu to get back into the lane and probably contribute onto the next clash. He already has an explosive KO ready. So that is definitely something that they need to consider when they go for clashes, because we're going to see Nunu just expending most of his skills most of the time. And the snipe again is going to get a connection, and Overfly is actually losing out that trade against NTNZ. And we've already seen what Iena can actually bring, and Nunu's going to be hit by that snipe. He's going to be able to spot out that Sentinel ward, and we're going to see that the double trouble hits out Move. No engagements at all is going to happen. Buriram United is playing it as safe as it gets.
Yeah, and well, that's how they should be going in towards this game. They have to be very cautious, especially with the post coming in here from DTAC Talon, and the way they can actually punish these hesitations coming from them. Difoxen now a little bit injured, has to recall, but now Erez is gonna be trying to find another target. KSSA still committing onto this, but it will be stolen here by Moop, and that's going to be stolen by Erez as Moop secures another objective onto the bot side. That is very hassle on the side of BRU. The snipe by Erez actually got through the members of BRU. Now with a little bit of a gold deficit, BRU are kind of struggling. DTAC Talon continuously pressuring them on their lanes, and that particular moment by Erez was definitely definitive after forcing Difoxen to actually back away. He gets the snipe going with a good timing of it as well, and now they're eyeing onto the top side. There is a pathing of iPad Pro towards there as well, but they're trying to catch out Nunu too. So DTAC Talon are just zoning away the members of BRU towards their base, away from the waves, and now as they group up towards top, they're looking to secure this topside tower, but double trouble will not connect here onto iPad Pro, and that's going to be a breathing time for the meantime on iPad Pro as Tony looks to enter here. He's gonna get out a lasso, but Nunu with the mobility, especially with the explosive KO and the rising uppercut, he is gonna be able to disengage successfully, while Erez is just trying to be the better player here on the top side. Difoxen again getting sniped here by Erez. might have to recall once again towards his base as some fight breaks through in the mid lane. Moop actually is gonna get caught out. He won't be able to live anymore. iPad Pro tries to save the day, but again, this time it's gonna be another casualty. A big win by BRU.
Yep. And so far with BRU taking in a 2-0 lead, they are not actually having the gold advantage to theirs yet. And this has been a testament on how hard it is to take the lead from DTAC Talon, because even if you get the kill, they're going to be securing some resources for themselves. They're going to be taking it from your camp, maybe taking it to tower, and the disrupt is going to be used. The shock is going to connect. Tony is being cleaved in half by KSSA, and Ares is going to be caught out as well, procting out his passive again. KSSA might be in danger with that cleave, and that's explosive KO being used and countered by Tony with the braces submission. They don't have the firepower to actually contest the take on that Spirit Sentinel, and the snipes are not gonna connect. They are connecting to someone. The creep waves are already cleared up, and we're gonna see NTNZ going in for the trade. He gonna be taken out? Yes, Overfly is gonna be getting that, but F1 gets traded out by Moop using the tornado, and that's a 1-for-1 trade.
A big trade this time once again. I mean, BRU trying to fight back here, trying to equalize the goal or even get ahead, but DTAC Talon constantly, like what you said, they get something along with those kills. This time another objective, and looking at the objective scoreline, you know, one Slayer, 2 Dragon secured here already by DTAC Talon, and nothing by BRU. Overfly being even zoned away, cancelled on his recall towards his base, and slowly but surely Gold lead is rising back a bit again on the side of DTAC Talon as a dive comes through. Nunu with a burst onto Ares, and now they're looking to secure a kill onto Tony as well. The ulti by F1 will secure that kill. NTNZ now collapsing here. This is gonna be a 2 versus 4. Not really the best part here on the side of DTAC Talon. They will lose 4. And now the gold lead has turned once again a tower takedown, and might even be an inhibitor taken here by BRU after that crucial mistake by DTAC Talon.
Yep, and Nunu gets that triple kill for himself. And this is the synergy of having a Raz and Sulin in your team. They can just burst down people one after another, and they're securing all of the jungle creep waves of DTAC Talon using the explosive KO to reposition himself and not be stuck into that area. Still, Defoxen takes that small cap. The Holy Dragon has now been started by Buriram United. They're not letting up. They're just trying to secure all of the objectives that they can have their hands on. And the Infinite Slayer is going to be started here by DTAC Talon. It's KSSA going in for a try, or he's just trying to make and take some mind games off on DTAC Talon.
Now it's starting to be a big problem for DTAC Talon. A while ago, things were in their favor. Things were on their hands. Everything under their control. But now things have gotten out of hand. Ares is still trying to go in with the snipes to try and force out BRU away. But they should be very careful as well because of the dive potential here by BRU. They can actually go in. Now Tony can actually get collapsed upon here. iPad Pro takes a bit of damage from F1. They're not going to be, committing onto a dive just yet. They're waiting for the other objective to actually be in favor of them, especially with Overfly. Split pushing onto the side. Moop is going to try to steal out that camp, but it's not going to be successful. The Infinite Slayer spawned out at top. Not really the best place to do so, as BRU are just stalling them out. There's even a push onto the bot side by Difoxen before he actually rotates towards mid. And DTAC Talon currently has no answers. They're trying to defend their base as much as possible. But right now, we don't see the amount of aggression they do have during the early game.
Yep. And now, with the Slayer being taken out, DTAC Talon needs to play it as safe as it gets. They're not winning any of the clashes just yet, and the double trouble is gonna get a hit, and that's explosive KO connecting into Eris. Eris is gonna be taken out. The Foxen gets a lot of the free looks, and that's gonna be the Ryu being used as well with a lot of dashes being procced out. We're not gonna see Tony walking off on that engagement. And BRU is now preparing themselves to go for a push. Moop is gonna be spotted out. KSSA is gonna try to clean Moop. But we're going to see IFI Pro trying to delay the fight by getting that clear wave. And F1 goes in with a thunderclap, gets that solo kill onto that Zill.
Now it's 10-1. A while ago, previous game, we saw a dominant performance by Ditactal. Now, after that just one mistake, everything collapses. They do get a kill onto Nunu though after the fantastic smite. So now this might be the perfect opportunity by Ditactal to actually come back. But BRU still getting a good kill a while ago onto Moop. They are going to be disengaging for the meantime after that fantastic punish by Erez with a snipe onto Nunu. They are going for the reset to prepare for this Dragon and Slayer that are about to spawn in a short while. It is the Holy Dragon and the Infinite Slayer. So now with a little bit of a gold lead, 3,000 on the hands of BRU, they are looking to increase it even more after securing their camps and clearing out the waves. But Ditactal so far have been kind of proactive. They are surprising BRU with a take here onto the Infinite Slayer. The double trouble will connect onto Moop, but he is still gonna be able to secure this Infinite Slayer. Meanwhile, a trade of objective here by BRU with a Holy Dragon along with a push onto the side being established right now.
Yep, and we're gonna see Nunu being sniped here by Erez. Still with Ditactal trailing by 3k gold. They are still gonna be in the losing end with the damage still being felt here with the double trouble getting ahead again onto that Elsu. That's not gonna be a commitment from KSSA, but with the cleanse actually being used out by Erez, they are gonna have the better chance to get that crowd control in onto the next clash. And yes, again, another Thunderbird being used by F1 to add some damage to the mix. KSSA might be going in for the shock. IFA Pro going in with a pinwheel. The braces submission again gonna be used. The power surge is gonna be connecting. And look at the damage that they've been dealing. And one clear from KSSA gets some sort of shave on the health of the members of Ditactal. And so far, they did not commit on anything since they didn't have any kind of objective to actually take.
Yeah, not much control here by Ditactal anymore, especially in this game, this draft of BRU, and especially that one mistake definitely has had a significant impact in this mid to late game as Ditactal still continues to hold their ground. They only have lost Inhibitor Tower in the top lane, so they still have mid and bottom lane. They can still try to scale up, and if BRU are gonna slip up a little bit, we do know that Ditactal are more than willing to take that and punish that mistake from BRU. But so far, we haven't seen that happening, and we do see the timing here of Difoxen with the double trouble most of the time connecting onto the crucial members of Ditactal. And if it happens once again, it's gonna spelling out trouble for Ditactal as BRU now pass towards the blue side jungle as a double trouble almost connects there onto Moop, but successfully dodges it, especially with the amount of ability that he does have in his kit. They are continuing to apply pressure though, as a double trouble cooldown is not really that much long. They only have to wait a few seconds before it goes online once again, as the snipes are just continuing to come from Erez, which is hurting so much on the Nunu. That's one third of his health immediately gone, even a little bit more. So he can only take 2 snipes before he falls down. That is how big of a damage Erez already has on the squishy members of BRU. And now as he goes back, still has a few health chunked down on the side of Nunu, as Erez looks to continuously poke the members here of BRU. BRU just now starting this Dark Lord Slayer with the help of Difoxin and Nunu. KSSA and F1 zoning them out. And DTAC Talon can find the perfect entry here. They might just have to give this away.
Yep, and the Dark Lord Slayer is going to be secured here by Buriram for sure, with the box out from KSSA being effective and also deterring the members of DTAC Talent to actually go for a commit. With iPod Pro not really in the best of positions, there is no tank seen on DTAC Talent except for Tony, who as a fighter is not really that tanky enough to actually withstand the damage coming in from the Tulin and also the Ras. He's gonna be forced out to actually buy out magic resist items. So Defoxin can definitely go for a peel and as well on Overfly on that IUV, which they can capitalize moving forward into the clashes. The snipe is not gonna connect again. There's gonna be a spot out with the ward into the area. The double trouble's not gonna get a hit. Ares might be taken out as well, and he is almost taken out with all of the damage coming in from Nunu and F1. And the passive has been soaked out here. The tier 3 turrets are falling one after another. No turrets left. Shock is gonna be used. That's gonna be the Ryu. The brazen submission also used. Alpha Pro doesn't have the damage to burst out anyone. And DTAC Talon, that's Ares move. And also Alpha Pro left. But they are not gonna be able to stand because Buriram United is going to take game 3 with that Nexus lock.
This time, BRU collected themselves. And after that one team fight, they did not let go of that lead. Showing DTAC Talon they can put up a good fight in this series. Now, they're taking the lead not only in that game, but also in the series 2-1. They only need to secure 2 more games. We have stated already before the series even started that this is going to be a tight one. And definitely both teams are showing it and materializing in this series. We saw a strong start, especially with BRU securing that first blood. Getting 2 kills, however, the goal is still relatively even, sometimes even in favor of DTAC Talon because of how they were getting objectives and resources across the map. But after the weird fight that happened onto the top side, pickoffs after pickoffs, and DTAC Talon losing 4 members in just one disastrous team fight, things got out of hand and BRU just snowballed from there and did not let go of any lead. They continued to apply pressure, and even though DTAC Talon tried to slow down the game, BRU just continues to accelerate it even further.
Yes, and with one of the best picks of Ares so far in the AIC, the Alsu not letting them get this win on game number 3 means that Buriram United has a lot more chances. They've expended some picks here again on game number 3, but I think if they keep on going on this momentum, they can have game number 4 and also game number 5. But that remains to be seen. We all know that DTAC Talon is not just going to take this into they're just not going to be beaten one-sidedly at most of the scenarios. These guys are the AWC champions, and definitely they might surprise us again on game number 4 with a win for themselves. And so far, BRU has been performing spectacularly. Are they going to be able to close this off on the next 2 games, or is it still going to be on a stalemate going forward here on this best of 7 series?
Well, anything can happen, you know. This has been a really close series so far, and we did see a lot of things to be considered in this game, especially that DTAC Talon kinda had a miscalculation in one of the team fights, wherein they could have performed a little bit better, but they kinda were scattered in this game. They tried to collect themselves towards the mid to late game, but things are pretty much out of hand already, given the fact that BRU already had such good scaling, and even the gold funneling was kind of perfect for them, having F1 securing most of those kills. So it's not gonna be that much surprising if we see him being the MVP of this match, given the amount of help and also amount of pressure he has made to allow his team to strive upon here. If we compare him to the performance of Mook, we more so saw Mook being on the defensive side, given that they didn't have that early snowball lead anymore, which kind of where DTAC Talon has their win condition. They have to win the early game to be able to dictate the rest of the game. However, we didn't see that happen due to that one team fight loss that they had. So maybe on the next succeeding games, we can assume or hope that DTAC Talon would patch that mistake up, because that overconfidence sometimes can be the one dragging you down instead of pulling you up.
Yep, and looking forward with DTAC Talon actually losing out on game number 3, even with the momentum on their hands. It's just gonna be very, very unfortunate for them. And now we're seeing Buriram United actually topping off and always starting with the lead. And that shows a good sign to Buriram United, who has a struggle on closing out games. If they're going to be consistent in their gameplay right now, Buriram United can actually take in the series and probably knock down the AWC champions. Because this is why you guys are in the lower bracket. You only get one more chance, and that chance needs to actually be utilized in those situations wherein you're gonna be very, very effective. And we're gonna see the scoreboard of the game number 3. It's Buriram United against DTAC Talon in a 2-1 score. 14-4 in terms of kills. That is 10 kills on the side of Buriram United. That's how much damage that they've been dealing during the clashes. And the synergy between Nunu and F1 here is just phenomenal. Once Nunu gets a lock in, F1 just needs to pop out that Thunderbird, and the game is already over during those clashes. The towers, dragons, and slayers, of course, we're gonna see the bulk of the towers being taken by Buriram United, while DTAC actually gets some steals on those dragons and slayers, resulting to some of the gold deficit to actually be lessened. But all throughout in the graph, we're gonna see DTAC Talon actually taking the lead on the first in the first opening minutes wherein the objective was won. But after that, it was just all Buriram United getting kills left and right. And that was what happened in game number 3. It's just a high kill count for Buriram United.
Yeah, even though, we saw, like what you mentioned, a really nice steal coming in for Erez. We saw most of the fights being made work here by BRU, and it's not gonna be possible without, of course, our MVP, BRU's F1, with a relatively high kill participation of 85.7, KDA of 8-1-4, a high damage of 109,000, roll goal difference of 4,400, and MVP points acquired 12.4, in a total of 7 MVPs acquired already, all across the AOV International Championships. And of course, there is still more room for him to get more MVPs if ever BRU are gonna be getting those wins with him carrying so much during those games. Now, at the 2-1 scoreline in favor of BRU, what are they to do? Given that they already have expended so many heroes in a sense, they still have some options left, many options left, but things are starting to get a little exhausting on those heroes, and many of which were already used by BRU. Do you think this can be a big concern onto them, or do you think they can still pull off a really creative composition?
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of composition. Tachi as well, still in the table. We haven't seen a lot of Superman yet. I mean, they did show us a Superman, right, on the first game. But there's still a lot of heroes that's definitely going to be used. I feel like they're not going to be running that up to the game number 5. If they're still going to be drafting the same way on BRU, they're definitely going to have someone maybe they have a lot of pocket picks as well. Avoy is still open for them, which they can utilize. Elsu is already out. Joker is still in the game. Laville has already been procced out as well. So Kafeni could also be an option, but I think DeFoxen already has used it in game number 2. So all in all, even if we eliminate all of those meta picks, they still have a lot on game number 5. It's just how they're gonna be picking it out, because they're definitely gonna be forced to pick maybe 2 pocket picks that are not usually seen here in the AIC. And so far, I think DTAC Talon is just conserving the strength. They can still win this here on game number 4 and also 5 and 6, wherein they can just finish it off before there is going to be a reset. So if they play their cards right and win the next game, then I think DTAC Talon is going to come out strong and actually win the series. But if Buriram gets this series, I'm not expecting DTAC Talon to actually win game number 6 at least.
Yeah, what I'm kind of concerned though is that, well, BRU, even though they have expended quite a lot of heroes already that are in the meta, actually they have been improving their pocket picks as well. We have seen them even pull off like stuff like the Senyal engage composition with the Hayate and the Kriknak. We also saw them even pulling off a Valheim against VCF in one of those games. So right now, yes, many meta heroes were already expended, but I think BRU can still be creative, very much creative in their next succeeding drafts as we move on to the game number 4. But same goes for DTAC Talent. It's just that they kinda, like what we talked about earlier, overconfidence can be disastrous sometimes, and if you make those mistakes, the hungrier team will definitely make most of that situation, and we saw BRU kind of had that. Now they are on the blue side. Still, DTAC Talon remains on the red side. We also see, DTAC Talon still remaining confidently happy with their situation. This is a good positivity that they are showing. Meanwhile, BRU are just on their game faces right now as the bans come through. Lubu and the Talon removed here by BRU. They don't want the DTAC Talon to actually get their hands on that kinds of heroes. As DTAC Talon just removes the Aoi away from BRU, and that can be a really high impact hero with regards to the backline access and also the amount of flexibility on entry levels it can provide for the team. But this allows the Crixie to be chosen here and locked in by BRU. And it can be a really high damage that we even have seen utilized so well by the members of DTAC Talon during game number 2. But Ishar and Superman?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be going in for the Ishar, who hasn't been picked so far here in AIC. They are actually gonna change it into a Raz. And if you guys have noticed, DTAC Talon actually subbed out Moop with Happy going in for the jungle of DTAC Talon. So this might be a fresh pace for DTAC Talon, because we're gonna see 2 distinct jungle styles on Moop and Happy, who can probably change the tide of battle. But Buriram United just went in all for that early game to mid-game damage on the Kriknak and also the Crixie. That's a very scary combination, while DTAC Talon is actually hovering onto the Wukong. I don't know if this is going to be a viable pick, because in terms of using Wukong, it's all about luck. If you're not lucky and you're not proccing those crits, then definitely you are going to be a liability for your team. And DTAC Talon is opting to actually change that pick with a mid-game hero as well, such as the Joker. And with this kind of composition, we're going to see a lot of early game potential for both teams on the first two picks. On the first three picks. The Joker and the Raz on DTAC Talon, and the Crixie and Cricknock for Buriram United. And adding to the mix, the Mina for Buriram, who can set up an AoE with the Dark Dominion and the hooks. And for DTAC Talon, it's a speeding bullet, of course, with the repetitive refresh on the light passive of the Superman, which can knock back heroes left and right.
Yeah, very high crowd control on the side of DTAC Talon. The wombo combo that we have seen already, not only from the playoffs but also in the group stages, being shown so well in terms of execution, and they're just looking to maybe pull off such a wonderful performance and with this kind of draft that they are making as the second banning phase comes through. We see the Sinestria being removed here by the members of BRU, but Ryoma and the Omen taken away here by DTAC Talon, which can be a big hassle on with regards to the sustain, of course, with Omen as well. The amount of damage and the overall playfulness of the Ryoma when executed properly here by BRU. What is BRU going to be removing as their final pick? DTAC Talon already has secured their mid mage and also their marksman, but maybe we can see a double marksman onto them. But Pain is so far being hovered as their final ban here. Quite an aggressive assassin, and they don't want that threatening the backline later on of BRU, since they haven't picked up a marksman as of the moment. But yeah, you have removed the Pain, but the butterfly is being hovered right now on DTAC Talon, prioritizing on assassins as of the moment. They do want insane amount of damage along with that burst of a crowd control, and they do change it up for the meantime. But since BRU hasn't shown their cards just yet with regards to the marksman pick, they have a lot of options. A while ago we did talk about the Kafeni being available for the taking of them. Violet is also free on the side of BRU. Very many choices here on the blue side, which they can actually focus on later on when DTAC Talon finally locks in this Zephyrs.
Yes, this is, I guess, a combination and also a pocket pick maybe for DTAC Talon to deter the Cricknock, because we know the more you damage Zephyrs, the more less damage he receives as his health actually deteriorates. And Buriram United are hovering onto a Valheim and also a Yena, so they might be going for an early game for Buriram United because they don't have the late game potential on
iProb Pro has been watching them secure this jungle camp, and they maybe is opting to try and go for a steal, but no, not gonna be possible. F1 is still gonna be taking it with the help of KSSA. Onto the side right now, Tony Happy are going towards the top. They're gonna be meeting with KSSA, which is relatively kind of tanky in a sense, even in the early game. It doesn't have the Dark Dominion, but a fight here in the mid lane. iPod Pro nearly gets blown up by F1 and Nunu. Unfortunately, he was able to disengage successfully. But now KSSA is also hovering here. Doesn't have the Dark Dominion yet, as they are still quite far from reaching their and having their ultis available, but still has that pull. Maybe he can actually set up for the team later on, as the objectives are about to spawn in the next 5 seconds. You can see a death brush being established here by Happy, but it gets spotted out by Nunu after taking that damage. So they are going to be falling back for the meantime. Overfly just checking the jungle cab, making sure nobody's gonna be there to actually contest, as they do try to get the priority on the bot side for the meantime. But an engage comes through here by Happy. They're trying to get a kill onto Overfly, which they have dealt a significant amount of damage. Meanwhile, iPod Pro is also preventing F1 from going in this area of the Abyssal Dragon, as they look to take it up uncontested with NTNZ ready for those zones.
Yep, and we're seeing here with the objectives already being taken here by Dtactal on the bot side. They need to take an objective for themselves to get that gold in. And Tony might be caught out, the Fox, and dealing a lot of damage, and that's gonna be bursting out some of the health of Tony, but he's still gonna be able to walk away. Baldum is a natural tank, wherein he has that natural protection for himself, his natural armor, and also the natural magic resist. The Talon so far is being harassed most of the time, and we can see the effectivity of having that quick see and also the quick knock, who can just burst down a lot. Happy using the death from above and the moonfall being used. That's substantial damage as well. They just traded out their health in terms of that both of the junglers are actually being shaved off of their health by half.
And we have seen the stats earlier, 68% win rate by Datac Talon whenever they secure the Spirit Sentinel. And since they have secured it, it can be a pattern from them, as they are on the red side again, and usually getting that good priority on the Spirit Sentinel. But as they get a dive on the Overfly, they're looking to secure the kill. Many flickers were actually spended, 2 flickers on the side of the Talon, and this might actually have to be given here onto Happy. Very nice invade, and also an engage. They're cutting some of the resources here on the side of BRU, as Nunu is still relatively healthy in a sense, but he has to be very careful because NTNZ is here with a flicker available. He can go in with the speeding bullet. A nice hook here coming in from KSSA, going in and allowing Difox to chunk out some of the damage here. But now, as he is relatively taking a bit of damage on his own, he's going to be playing it out safe for the meantime, while Dtac Talon are still preventing them from securing any objectives. This Dark Slayer has been here for quite a while now, and BRU can't really find the perfect opportunity to start it up.
Yep, and Buriram United is the one taking the initiative. Happy is going to be spotted, not KSSA. It might be a initiation wherein they might get that Mina out, but that's going to be a hook in the Dark Dominion as well. The Wild Prison is going to be procced out by Tony, but they are not going for the engagement, and iPad Pro misses out the explosive KO. And with that kind of engagement, all of the ultimates are being expended in that kind of situation. iPad Pro missing that explosive KO is going to be unfortunate, because that is definitely going to be a secure kill, supposed to be. And Happy goes in hot, and look at the damage being procced out here by Buriram United. They are being pushed back right now with the sustainability and tankability of the Baldum and the Zephyrs as well.
Yeah, and it's gonna be DTAC Talon again securing an objective. Make that 2 objectives as they also got the tower on top. And no casualties are even happening. This is just small but consistent wins being taken here by DTAC Talon as BRU. We talked about them having a big amount of pressure to get this early game, or else they're gonna get a little bit punished onto the late game. And now they are starting a team fight while F1 is trying to secure this Abyssal Dragon. Can they actually take it? The answer is yes, but KSSA is very low. Here comes the engage right now by DTAC Talon. KSSA survives, and now Overflies in the flank. They fox in, doing some damage as well, but the ult is not gonna be connecting onto anyone. Now without any casualties, BRU sneaks up the Holy Dragon. This can be a sizable win for them as they go back onto their laning phase. But DTAC Talon are kind of scattered in a sense. They almost took down KSSA. And if BRU are gonna be a little bit, committing on too much on the team fight, maybe DTAC Talon can pull off some kills. But now Tony can be forced to disengage for the moment as the gank comes through here by BRU. Now positioning themselves towards the mid lane if ever they are going to be catching out anyone. With F1 also here looking to dive, but iPod Pro sniffs them out. But now the overextension, the orb has been used, but he has no escape. iPod Pro gets that kill, and it's really unfortunate that they kind of just ignored NTNZ during that scenario. They even went in. A questionable play there actually by F1.
Yep, and now Buriram United is going to be trailing by 500 gold in advantage of DTAC Talon. It is not going to be sizable, but still, it is still a gold lead that could start something for DTAC. And if they do secure another kill onto F1, he doesn't have the resurrection rune available to him. And if it's player is being started here, and TNT goes in the fray, F1 goes in with a drone drop, and that's a secure kill for Happy. Getting that death from above, hitting F1 in that drone drop. Getting that prediction right for himself, and Overfly almost gets taken out by iPad Pro as well. And this has been an underperforming matchup for Nunu, who so far has not contributed to any kind of ganks. And KSSA might be taken out, uses the flicker. Is he gonna be able to run? Yes, he is. He is gonna be let up by NTNZ and the others, because that hero is actually not a viable target for them. It might be a disaster with Nunu just hanging back. The moonfall is going to be used, not getting a hit again with that stun. More of the engagements here from Buriram United goes in with premature, and that's a raid from the above again, and the orb is going to be used. The Foxen might be in danger. KSSA tries to save them, and the drone drop is there, but the Foxen secures a kill on iPad Pro, but that Joker gets a secure kill on the Foxen, and that's still going to be a win for the Foxen, for DTAC Talon, who was able to secure the second tier turret.
Yeah, and DTAC Talon snowballing this time. BRU was struggling in this early game, and this can be detrimental for them, but they're still trying to put up a good fight. Now F1 gonna be spotting out Tony in the process, but he's not gonna get scared at all. They are gonna be trying to get that kill onto Nunu, and they do. DTAC Talon spotting out BRU with this cheesy death brush, and now they're gonna be taking more objectives, taking a tower onto the bot side. Now even just taking this Holy Dragon for themselves, as BRU can't contest at all. We talked about their early game pressure, we talked about their deadline and the 20-minute mark, but so far, looks like the deadline has been changed. DTAC Talon has moved it up quite quicker, as right now we're seeing BRU struggling so much. Not much damage being dished out here right now by Nunu and Daifoxen, due to the fact that they are constantly getting died upon, and also the way that DTAC Talon are delivering these strats, pulling off death brushes and also zoning the other members of BRU out, especially with the amount of crowd control that they do have with iPad Pro and NTNZ only being considered. They can actually just dismantle BRU in a sense, and without a proper team fight execution, BR just gonna continue to struggle. And as the game progresses, right now NTNZ looking for the proper positioning, has the flicker to initiate for a fight, and as they do take most of the outer turret down, that's 5 already taken compared to just 1 that BRU has taken a while ago on the bot side of DTAC Talon. Now they're setting up yet another death brush. Tony and iPad Pro lingering here on the bot, on the blue side jungle of BRU, and this Infinite Flare is just gonna get taken uncontested. A free objective once again, while BRU, the other members, F1 and Overfly, just split pushing onto the bot.
Yep, and we're gonna see DTAC Talon actually trying to go for that top lane pressure, and they summon here the Infinite Slayer to maybe secure that, and we're gonna see Happy being lured here, and the Wild Prison connecting to 2 of the members. This is gonna be a good setup for them, and that's gonna be the death from above, not getting the timing right, but we're gonna see iPad Pro on the back trying to make some space for their team, and they are going to be securing another kill for DTAC. But that's going to be an exchange with iPad Pro being taken out as well. And TNZ goes in and tanks in the turret, and is going to be able to take the kill as well, with the third tier turret here onto the middle lane being taken out. And TNZ is trying to go for a push, and a death from above again from Happy to actually re-engage, and he gets that kill.
Ooh.
We're going to see the faction falling down. KSSA as well might be taken out with a killing joke, and there is going to be a secure with the Nexus lock from DTAC Talon. They are going to be taking game number 4, and it is going to be tying the series to a 2-2.
A very tight series indeed. This time, DTAC Talon has taken control. And everything that we talked about got denied here by DTAC Talon. We saw the pressure already building up since the early game, and since BRU can't really fully utilize this kind of composition, well, they had a good performance against a VCF before, during the day number 1 of the knockout stage. But in this higher category against DTAC Talon, they simply can't execute that properly, as the score is, yes, gonna be tied once again, and DTAC Talon are not gonna be giving any chance for BRU to come up on top in this best of 7 series. Now both of them have a 2 under score line, still to collect 2 more games, to win 2 more games, and we're only 1 game away from having that reset of hero pool. 2 more games rather before the reset of hero pools, and so far we're seeing BRU kind of being exhausted right now on their choices, and DTAC Talon are simply having a better performance with these kinds of pocket picks. A fantastic performance by DTAC Talon, and maybe we can see a very tight series nonetheless, even on the next succeeding games, as BRU are looking to have a comeback once again. But since we did talk about earlier that I'm back, that things can be exhausting already on the hero pool of BRU, I'm kind of hesitating a little bit right now on their performance. Definitely that game was kind of questionable in a sense. They drafted for early game but didn't really went in hard on that early game. They kind of was just farming, and why would you kind of go in on farming mode on early game heroes, where if you would want to have that kind of strategy, going for other picks? They had so many choices already they had the Kafeni available for the taking, Violet as an ADC as well, and other heroes as well that can have a significant damage from the mid to late game. And we saw Foxin, you talked about how the Valheim kind of is limited because of the range and the amount of luck it needs to pop in that golden glaive. But in here, we saw it not really manifesting in terms of luck. Difoxin struggling clearly, trying to do some damage onto the frontline members of the Talon because they're just gonna dive on him constantly. And if the distance is closed here by the Talon, they're just gonna easily kill that Valheim. And they also have repeatedly done that in the last succeeding clashes.
Yes, and so far, as I have repeated, on the picks that we saw from Buriram, it was mostly the early game. And if they lose the early game, definitely they're not bouncing back. It's just based on their draft. They are not in a favorable position to actually take back the game. And you're gonna see here on the scoreboard on how hard it was for Buriram. Because after the 4-minute mark, wherein we saw an equilibrium between Buriram and DTAC Talon, after DTAC Talon actually took the lead, it was just a matter of time wherein we're gonna see a scale onto that Raz and also the Joker. And there was no viable picks as well on the front line of DTAC Talon. The Superman is gonna be hard to kill. The Zephys is gonna be hard to kill as well. Baldum is also hard to kill. And all of those utilities piling up for DTAC Talon was just too much for Buriram. The Wild Prison always connecting to one member, disabling one member from Buriram United to be effective in the clashes that happen. We're gonna see in the kills, there's a 6 kill advantage on DTAC Talon. In terms of gold, we're actually going to see a 6k gold advantage as well. In terms of towers, dragons, and slayers, it's all about DTAC Talon. And that is the story of game number 4, where the series got tied. Because DTAC Talon knew how to play their strengths well, and also because of the sustainability of their lineup, they were able to get a 1-up over Buriram United in this game. And the MVP of for DTAC Talon is going to be Erez on that Joker with the 66.7% KP, 402 KDA, a 72k damage dealt. Roll goal difference is 2.1k, MVP points 11.2, and this is his second MVP on this tournament. This is just one of the breakout plays coming in from Erez, where when he is going to be allowed to carry, he will carry hard. And that is a testament on how good Erez was. He was the representative of DTAC Talon in the 1v1 tournament.
And having a strong performance not only by Erez but also the rest of the members of DTAC Talon kind of shows how they can bounce back from some of the losses and how they are really just comfortable in all of the games, even after suffering some hiccups, not only in this series but also during their game against Saigon Phantom. They keep their composure constantly in check, and they don't let these losses mess with their minds at all, as we see them usually just smiling continuously, showing that they are not really feeling any negativity overall. And in this series, we saw them constantly bouncing back, especially in these games, having a strong early game despite having the supposed advantage on the side of BRU with the composition that they do have. They know how to deny the strong points of the compositions that BRU are making, and if they continue to do that, they are going to be securing more points for sure. As BRU normally secures they have secured the first game, then DTAC Talon. Next game was BRU once again, and then DTAC Talon. So if the pattern continues, BRU are gonna be the ones having the upper hand in this. But if DTAC Talon can change the pace, if they can change the pattern, then they can be the ones to actually have the upper hand, since nobody wants to be the one catching up with regards to the score. They want to be the one to actually lead the score in their favor. And Didac Talon, they haven't showed that for the meantime yet.
Yes, and Ditac Talon, with the kind of plays we see, if they're going to be able to mechanically maneuver against Buriram United and add into the mix on how they actually rotate, this is going to be good news for Ditac. They have been doing well ever since the group stages and even here in the playoffs. Although they fell down here into the lower brackets, in the lower brackets they proved to be one of the big contenders, wherein they are kind of hard to beat. Although we've seen games where Ditac Talon was forced to game number 7, it is still going to be a sight to see on how the endurance run of Ditac Talon is actually influencing this series. If they win game number 5, I feel like game number 6 is going to be a bag unless they actually screw it up again with a quirky draft that we've seen repeatedly from Ditac Talon.
And well, I wonder what next lineups these teams are gonna be having for this particular game. As well, we did see more of a bit of a disappointing execution on the side of BRU, where I kind of got excited on that game in how if they can actually pull off that kind of trap against a heavy frontline composition of the Ditac Talon. But we more so saw an almost one-sided beatdown during that game and an overall struggle by BRU. But maybe as they switch sides this time, Ditac Talon are gonna be the ones on the blue side, as the BRU are gonna be the ones on the red side. Let's see if this can actually have or make a difference with regards to their performance, as we do see the check on the global picks and bans once again. One more game before the reset later on the picks. We're already coming so close towards that game, that game number 7, in which things are gonna get a little bit more messy in a sense. Ditac Talon, yes, on the blue side, will have the advantage on the first pick priority. BRU still has some options left in them, especially on the marksman department.
And we're gonna see here the first ban here for Ditac Talon might be the Avoy pick. They're not gonna give that to Buriram United, where we see that F1 is actually one of those junglers that are very proficient on using that Avoy pick. And with Aya being banned out, that is already a no-brainer with a almost 99% ban rate. Only one time it was actually let loose, and it was a very, very fast game where Itaara actually was wreaking havoc on the Chinese team. And so far, Ditac Talon already banned out another assassin, which is gonna be Kira, and Buriram United takes out the Omen, who is one of the most proficient tanks in the AOV in Arena of Valor. So the first pick for Ditac Talon is something that might dictate on what kind of composition they're aiming for here on game number 5. And they are actually hovering onto an Iggy, and that's going to be a very, very ballsy move. Iggy is usually picked up as a counter pick instead of a first pick, just because he's one of those heroes that is going to be very, very squishy. But with most of the strong mid laners already taken out, like the Raz, Tulin, the Lorian, the Liliana, out on the reaches of BRU, I'm pretty curious to see what kind of mage are they gonna field against Iggy.
Yeah, that is really true. And look at the picks here of BRU. Oh, showing off the they have a zip, so most probably we are gonna be seeing a relatively late game marksman on their side, and also the D-Rack being shown here as well. You know, the amount of damage it can dish out, especially with the ulti. I'm really curious on how they are gonna be executing this kind of composition, especially that D-Tac Talon are looking for primary damage on their side, having to lock in the Iggy first pick, and now they are hovering the Hayate as well. They're looking to dive, they're looking to go and charge BRU head on, but they have to be really careful. So, you know, with the D-Rack, they have Genesis Barrier and also the Genesis Blast with so much damage in their hand, and now they're just continuing to surprise us this time with a Bright being hovered, and we kind of had seen the a bit of a glimpse on a Bright pick earlier in this series, wherein D-Tac Talon tried to have a good performance or a fantastic performance with this, but they kind of trailed off behind due to the fact that the BRU managed to go in on them with so much engage. But since there's no more Superman, there's no more Raz, no Lorian as well, this can be something that well, Lorian is available, but since they picked out the Iggy already, Lorian is not going to be a threat anymore by BRU, and having these first 3 picks can be a good assurance on the side of BRU. And now, as the second banning phase begins or concludes, Zil, Airi, and also the Lubo taken away already by both sides. So let's see what D-Tac Talon are going to be opting to remove on the side of BRU, as they have used already many frontline heroes. But, well, I'm not so sure what they would actually think that they would take here. The key being hovered as of the meantime, and yeah, BRU haven't used this yet in this game, along with the Aoi and the Kira, as it has been a consistent ban on the side of D-Tac Talon. But right now, with the Nakrot being hovered as of the moment, and this is kind of surprising. We have seen a strong performance with a Nakrot already by some of the teams, especially with the amount of damage he can actually dish out, and also, well, the overall farming capability with a split push potential as well, because of the insane amount of clear that he does have. This can be viable on the side of BRU, and they have locked it in. So now, D-Tac Talon hovering on the Richter as of the moment. They have a good front line, and a while ago we saw a ban on the Sinestria. Now it's gonna be readily available to be taken here by D-Tac Talon. Let's see if D-Tac Talon are gonna be locking these heroes immediately, as they still have a little bit of time left in them. 18 seconds on the clock before they have to finally conclude this composition. And I kind of, well, we are going to be seeing as well an Alice as their support, so they are looking to have a good protection on the Hayate as well, with the amount of help that this particular hero can give, especially with the shields as well to be provided along to the team. But now, with the Amelie being hovered on the side of BRU, they're really going ham on this. They want to go in. They want to have a lot of choices in the way they are going to be approaching this game. So very interesting picks here by both teams. D-Tac Talon with the Richter, the Sinestria, the Iggy, the Hayate, and the Alice. And on the side of BRU, we see the Zip, the D-Rack, the Bright, Nakrot, and the Amelie, as they are having this same scoreline, 2-2. Who is gonna be coming on top on this game number 5? Will it be D-Tac Talon or BRU? With the amount of engage available for both teams. But so far, I'm kind of leaning on the security here on the side of DTAC Talon. We haven't seen a strong performance by a Bright just yet. We more so have seen it being used once during the group stage. It was a win, but also so far in the knockout stage, in the playoffs, so far it has a 0% win rate. This is going to be the second time it's going to be used here in the playoffs. Let's see if BRU can actually pull this off within the series here of DTAC Talon, as we now are going to be seeing the comparison of both draft. F1 on the knockout and Happy still being the jungler here on the side of DTAC Talon. No longer we are going to be seeing a Moop for the meantime, as he is just swapped out for the moment here by Happy. Take a closer look on the graphics being shown to us by the AUV International Championships. We can appreciate the efforts here by the production as well as the creatives as we head down to game number 5 between DTAC Talon and BRU. Start of the game, a potential, sizable lead here by either team who is gonna be taking control of this game. And well, standard start for both, but we're seeing Erez being a little bit aggressive, trying to poke out KSSA as he just wants to help out his jungler with regards to the clearing. Now, as we do see BRU kind of grouping up early in here, Nunu even watching the top side river. Meanwhile, the DTAC Talon are just trying to play it out safe, with the Erez continuously being quite aggressive in checking out this red side jungle.
And now with Buriram United actually having that Nakrot, they are going to actually go for a lot of split pushes, because that is the only games that F1 actually wins when he uses that Nakrot as a supplement to their pushing and wave clear management. When he goes to the clashes, he usually is going to be disastrous for himself. And that is one of the biggest facts on how Buriram United needs to play this out. With the Dirac onto their side though, they can be very, very aggressive, with Erez almost taken out with a flicker and a dash being procced out by Erez though. He is going to be surviving the damage coming in from Buriram United. With Bright actually being used up, the Ember's Gaze is also going to be procced out. iPad Pro goes in with the Shadow Bomb, and with that double Astral Orb, he is not going to be able to secure any type of kills for Nunu. And TNZ is going to spot them out here. He's not going to be engaging though. He's just going to use the Jungle Strike to get out of the area.
Yeah, it's a relatively safe start for both teams, despite the early jabs being thrown out here by both of them. We're seeing BRU really going aggressive on these objectives, as F1 does have a fast clear. He can just solo out these dragons and slayers, but so far we have seen DTAC Talon trading out the objective. This is a good sign by them, unlike BRU a while ago. And in some of the games, we have seen them kind of hesitating on taking objectives, but this time with a proper jungler that can actually solo out these monsters, you can see them being quite efficient in the clearing department, as so far we're seeing F1 farming out for the meantime while the rest of the members are playing it out safe. They're not going to be very much aggressive during this early game looking for ganks, unless KSSA and Nunu are going to be finding some picks along with Difoxin, as they are grouping up towards this mid lane. After clearing out top, they're looking to just apply pressure if ever they are going to be able to catch out anyone overextending on the side of DTAC Talon. But they most so have overextended here in the mid lane, as Nunu falls down. He can't do anything due to the amount of damage being thrown here by DTAC Talon, even investing the Kunai Blitz here of Erez to get that kill. And because of that goal funneling, it's going to be very helpful here in this early game of DTAC Talon.
Yep, that was a secure kill with the His Fit being used. Erez is going to be locking on Overfly. That's a lot of peel damage and Overfly is going to be forced to use the Enrage to actually disengage and get that damage reduction in. The Foxen and KSSA is in the area, but there is still going to be NTNZ going with the Mark of the Hunter. That's a lot of silence as well. And KSSA is going to be forced to use that Zip Roll to reposition. Most of the engagements now are being controlled by D-Tag Talon, and the early game definitely is going to be there for them, while D-Rack doesn't have that damage. And most of the situation right now, NTNZ actually starts it out, and he's very, very aggressive in most of those engagements. The Foxen is going to be facing out NTNZ on here on the bot lane, while Ares actually is going to have a grand time against Overfly, with the Amelie not being able to actually just close the gap on that Hayate.
Now, a fantastic early game so far here on the side of D-Tag Talon. It shows how much hungry they are in getting an advantage, but oh my, they might call him. Is here onto the bot side. KSSA is just memeing onto them, trying to delay that take on the objective, of course, and also messing on the minds here of the D-Tag Talon. But it is still gonna be secured eventually, as BRU has bought enough time for the Abyssal Dragon to get quickly take down, as F1 is here along with Difoxen. It might get traded out here by D-Tag Talon towards the top side. But so far, they're being watched by Overfly, as a dive might actually happen here onto the bot side. Tony is relatively low, but NTNZ is trying to clear out the wave. This will delay the push as they look to just engage. And a trade once again here by D-Tag Talon. A fantastic execution here, preventing that snowball of BRU.
Yes, and with D-Tag Talon actually taking a 1 kill onto the scoreboard and also being able to secure all of the resources that they need, they are not gonna fall off. And with a 1k gold lead already onto the name, NTNZ still going in hot against F1, and that's the Foxen in KSSA going into the mix. Happy uses the Broad Bramble, and he's gonna be able to live himself. NTNZ is in the fray, trying to deal a lot of damage, and Ares is gonna get a miss on those shuriken throws, and that's gonna be costing them a lot. And with the Foxen getting that double kill, they are gonna be taking some of the advantage against D-Tag Talon. And that's Ember's Gates connecting to two of their members, getting a double kill.
Double kill.
A double kill, and right now, they are gonna be getting this turret as well in the bottom lane with the help of Happy. Happily taking that, allowing to secure a lead here by D-Tag Talon. We're already starting to see the gold rise up towards their favor. And BRU trying to answer back in the other parts of the map, but Overfly overly committing on that engage. He is constantly getting bombarded by the damage, and Tony is just gonna secure that kill for the team. And it's quite unfortunate for Overfly actually to try and see. He was just trying to secure that Spirit Sentinel, man, and he got killed in the process. And now in the mid lane, F1 is getting dived here by NTNZ. He's gonna be able to disengage. But now, as D-Tag Talon groups towards the top, Tony is gonna get stunned there, and they will just disengage for a moment, as KSSA is just continuously looking for opportunities to enable the team onto a team fight. But Happy again with a split push. We don't see the split push being enabled just yet here on F1. We more so see it on D-Tag Talon, with Happy taking those towers down, upping the lead here of D-Tag Talon. Now Tony getting engaged here, but he is relatively safe for the meantime. There's a fight here onto the bot side of a 2 versus 1, but they're not scared at all. There's a diver onto the top as well. Happy finally falls down after battling 2 members of BRU. But D-Tag Talon are going to be pressuring top as well, looking to maybe choke out the members here of BRU, but it's not successful for the meantime. So it's a slight win by BRU in that small scenario, as they also, D-Tag Talon continuously taking down turrets from BRU, and there's zero answer from them as of the meantime. So they can't catch up that much in terms of the gold. And now as another fight breaks out, KSSA looks to disengage. Connive Blitz has been used already, but it's simply not enough. BRU now with a kill advantage during that small team fight, looks to actually transition onto the mid, or maybe even the Holy Dragon, as they are kind of low in terms of HP. The ulti here by iPad Pro is not gonna spot out anyone.
And this is DTAC Talon, and this is the replay coming in from the fight here for DTAC, wherein they got a double kill, but in turn iPad Pro himself takes it back with an Ember's Gaze that bursts out KSSA and also defoxing. So that is a lot of shutdown goal for iPad Pro, and for now iPad Pro is actually doing well with that Iggy pick. And DTAC Talon is going to spot out that Holy Dragon take from F1 and also defoxing. But are they going in for the fight, or are they going to be able to secure? But F1 is going to be there with the retribution. So they are just delaying Buriram United at that point because they wanted to get the turrets here on the top lane. And iPad Pro is going to be joining the fray. Overfly is being harassed here by iPad Pro.
Yeah. And well, it's constant pressure by DTAC Talon, you know, and we're starting to see a bit of a struggle here by BRU, especially on the split push department, as they haven't found any turret secured just yet. They are gonna be spawning the Infinite Slayer, but it's not gonna be that much helpful for the meantime, as BRU are just gonna be clearing it out quite fast, honestly, as they get their breathing time for now, looking to just secure the lanes and also farming up on their jungle. But DTAC Talon are still having a bit of an upper hand, 2.5k gold lead at 11 minutes into the game, and they have absolutely total control on the objectives for the meantime. They can just engage onto BRU if they can actually catch them off guard, but the BRU are looking to play this out relatively safe, trying to let Difoxen scale out, and he has been popping up and getting these kills. 3, 1, and 0 on the scoreboard, and he already has secured some of the items that he needs to actually dish out a lot of damage. Now Happy still managing to split push onto the side lane and avoiding some confrontations from BRU. This has been a constant pattern here by DTAC Talon, and it's really affecting, you know, the laning phase here of BRU after that insane amount of damage from iPad Pro.
Yep, and we're seeing the synergy here with the Alice being in play here for DTAC Talon. They are rotating effectively with the speed, and most of the time they catch the members of BRU out of position, and that's going to be a secure buff for the Hayate. Getting that red buff will definitely add a slow on his shurikens. It is going to be affecting Buriram United's F1, who needs to secure more resources to get back into the game. So far, he has 8.7k, but in comparison to the Sinistrea with a 9.8k, there is a big difference onto the damage that they're going to be able to deal in a 1v1 scenario. And Ares is going to be starting that Infinite Slayer, while there is going to be a take here onto the bot lane, wherein there's going to be a split push supposedly from Buriram United. But the Slayer has been secured here by Ares. He procs out that Kunai Blitz already, and they are not going to engage unless they have the ultimate of Ares ready. That is going to be for sure. That's how meticulous DTAC Talon is. So if Buriram United actually starts a clash here, it could probably win it with Ares not having his ultimate ready. And that's again an Ember's Gaze, and Nunu's health is reduced to half. That's a ton of damage coming in from iPad Pro.
And we do see the confidence here of iPad Pro, definitely, you know, having to first pick this Iggy, and now we're seeing him having a significant impact in the game, especially with the amount of damage that he is able to dish out. This is just overall confidence here by DTAC Talon. Now pushing onto the top side with the help of the Infinite Slayer. There's also a split push by Happy towards the bot side, so very high pressure right now on the side of BRU in terms of answering these pushes on all three lanes. And we're even seeing this tower falling down into the mid lane for sure, with iPad Pro and Tony attacking the tower. Now, as the ulti misses from iPad Pro, it can be breathing time here for BRU to try and take down this Infinite Slayer, which eventually gets taken down. But looking at the lead, becoming sizable, 5,000 as of the moment, and BRU are showing really signs of struggle here in this game. We're talking about a game wherein only 4 kills happen for both sides, in which the score is even, but the amount of gold is heavily favoring DTAC Talon because of their security in their lanes, having to protect all their towers and also taking all the towers here of BRU in a sense of demonstrating their macro control in this game. And we haven't seen BRU fighting back just yet.
With the Dark Lord Slayer being procced out here into the land, are going to be playing out their objectives well, because whoever gets the Dark Lord Slayer is going to have an advantages, especially for Buriram United, who needs this kind of advantage for themselves because they haven't secured any turrets at all so far, with the wave clear management always into the side of DTAC Talon. And Overfly is in the area. Defoxin is going to be spawning out happy, but he's going to be taken now. Look at the crits coming in from Defoxin and also Overfly. Are they going to be able to get the kill? Yes, it is. The Mark of the Hunter is going to be used. The Ember's Case as well is going to be procced out, and Defoxin is going to be taken out, with Ares in the area getting that slow in. Overfly tries his best to get away on that situation, but he is going to be too slow to get away.
Yeah, too slow already, and well, at least BRU got a kill onto Happy, but that is a worthy trade here by DTAC Talon. Now they are pressuring onto the top side after preventing a take on the Holy Dragon. You know, just overall getting everything here. DTAC Talon now zoning BRU out of the Slayer, and now with NTNZ also joining them. After freely split pushing onto the side lane, they are going to be sending out Happy to help them secure this Slayer for sure. And BRU, I'm not even confident that they can actually contest this unless they pull off a miracle team fight, a proper execution without hesitation. Maybe they can go for it, but at this point, things are looking dim. You know, the lead is still sizably high on the side of DTAC Talon, still maintaining that 5k gold lead against BRU, as we see a 1v1 here by NTNZ and Overfly. But since both of them are, you know, relatively tanky, it's not gonna be sustained here for sure. They're just gonna be boring themselves out as a split push once again established here by Happy. He has been constantly baiting out the members of BRU, and looking at that sustain, staying alive. It eventually falls down, and NTNZ is a little bit late in helping his comrade. And BRU with that shutdown gives them a little bit of a breathing time as they look to actually engage here in the mid lane. They fox it with a kill onto iPad Pro, and finally they crack DTAC Talon and finally get their pattern. And now they're looking to secure this tower in the mid lane. They have secured it quite quickly with a split push by Overfly as well onto the bot side. And meanwhile, that's happening. Well, F1 can either join the team, since death timers are kind of high as of the moment. There is a zip roll coming in, but not really hitting some of the members here of DTAC Talon. They might actually get punished. F1 is relatively low. Can they actually get the kill? The answer is yes. Now, multiple orbs being used here, and just a tankness, a funnel onto the Nexus. BRU will slip out this win against DTAC Talon. A one-time show of opportunity, and without hesitation, they take it.
Yup, and we're gonna see Buriram United Esports actually taking game number 5. So they are now at a 3-2 advantage, and that is one of the reasons why they actually lost this is because we've been seeing a lot of throws coming in from DTAC Happy, trying to get those kills alone and without any kind of help, thinking that he can actually burst down the Amelie, which is definitely gonna be tanky and has that dueling potential for him, and that costed them a lot. And yeah, DTAC Talon fell short because when Happy wasn't there, it gave a lot of space for Buriram United. And when iPad Pro was taken out, she doesn't have any kind of advantage for himself. He doesn't have the orb, he doesn't have the resurrection, and that costed them the game. And iPad Pro was one of the key members on keeping DTAC Talon alive, but Buriram United was able to outlast them. Not much of a brilliant play, but it's more of the mistakes of DTAC Talon here on game number 5. They kept on going and committing on mistakes, resulting to this 3 versus 5 in the latter part of the game, wherein Erez was not able to use his Kunai Blitz and was too late on procting it out.
Yeah, and those slight mistakes by DTAC Talon, maybe the same pattern happens again. Overconfidence. They were kind of complacent with their lead already, and also the way they have been split pushing. Happy got taken down twice or thrice already before that final one, and when the kill just happened again, Happy was dead. And also iPad Pro got bursted out. It was a perfect opportunity. 3 versus 5, wherein they have proper engage. They have relatively high DPS, especially on structures because of F1-2, along with the other members. It was just go time already. And given the fact that BRU already has that amount of farming to actually execute that well, it was only a matter of time. And given that scenario, there was zero hesitation. They went in. F1 could have went on securing that Slayer instead, but no. They realize what's already right in front of them, the opportunity, and they just go in with a push. Even though the zip roll didn't actually hit anyone, they've managed to just funnel all the damage towards the other members of DTAC Talon. And when they got close towards the Nexus, they just transferred all their attention towards getting the damage done and taking this win. Now we're seeing a match point by BRU against DTAC Talon in this relatively close game. The pattern is still there, so maybe DTAC Talon are going to be putting this into a game number 7. It's not impossible to happen since it's just a alternate win by both teams.
Yep, and we all know DTAC Talon is not just in terms of going into best of 7. Even in the AWC, they like going into round 7. But now, they're not the ones in advantage going to game number 6. If they're going to be failing to actually win game number 6, they're going to be knocked out of the tournament. And this is going to be a living testament that champions do fall. If Buriram United actually knocks out DTAC Talon, maybe this is their chance to actually redeem their team, because so far, out of all the professional teams in the international stage, Buriram United always gets knocked out even before going to the finals. And that has been a fact. One of the reasons why the RPL was actually underwhelming in most of their showing until DTAC Talon actually won AWC. So maybe this time, maybe there is going to be an opportunity for Buriram United to actually stand tall for the RPL region. But still, that is something that we need to see going into game number 6, because there's a lot of heroes available for DTAC, but there is a lot of heroes available still for Buriram United, who has a lot of pocket picks as well. And maybe they have prepared for the next game. But looking at the scoreboard, we're gonna have equal kills here in both teams. There's not much of a breakout. It's just that a lot of mistakes just piled up for DTAC Talon, like I said on the highlights. And that is one of the highlights of the game where Happy was just throwing in himself repeatedly, trying to get a kill on Amelie, who is very, very well known to be tanky, especially in a 1v1 scenario. And if he uses that Enrage, he has that damage reduction plus the additional damage that she can deal and burn you during her ultimate, which is the Enrage, is going to be substantial enough to actually make any assassin run from her. And with F1 always in the area, just hovering and knowing the strategy of Happy, they were just easily securing those kills one after another. And in terms of the towers, DTAC Talon did take a lot more than Buriram United. And in the Dragon department is the only objective for in Buriram United actually came out on top. And most of the game was just controlled by DTAC Talon. But it doesn't always end in those kind of advantages, because even if you have the advantages, if you're not going to be able to close it out, you're still going to be losing the game. And we're going to see the MVP of game number 5. It is going to be Overfly on that Amelie with a 71.4% KP, a KDA of 124, 41k damage dealt, roll goal difference is 882, MVP points 9.8. This is his second MVP of this tournament. He has been crucial on taking out Happy all throughout this game number 5. So we're gonna expect a lot more spectacular performance onto Overfly moving forward in the series. But before we go to game number 6, we are going to a very short break. My name is Vittorio, this is Giang, and this is the Arena of Valor International Championships 2021. We'll be right back after a short break.
Relax. I'm not going to hurt you much.
area. Look at the stuns coming in from Kwanga. Norman might be caught out. Cliffbreaker being committed here. A lot of damage as well. He is going to be taken out with the Venom. The shock is going to be used for the disengagement. But they're going to be casting out the Nelson with the double coming in from Wow TD. Maris.
Because of that crowd control from Nunu, he stops the advance, and now they are going to be able to be backing away successfully. Kago's in though. That is going to be an extended team fight here at the Red Jungle, but a power surge did not connect. He flickers in, tries to go in once again, and they do get the first blood. Now they're kind of overextended. Red gets taken out in the process. Can they get a kill onto Koa? They are a little bit more grouped up in this sense. They do have the Florentino Berdovi into the top lane for the meantime. Maybe in the mid lane as he is split pushing, but as the double trouble misses, that's going to be engaged here by Maris. An immediate flank here. 5B Gaming causing a lot of trouble here for Saigon Phantom, and they can't escape. It's just Z-Wave, the only member surviving on the side of...
So, actually going in for the play. That's a flicker, and that's an Agnes grip being used. Goes in hot. Move might be in danger, but he's gonna use the metamorphosis, and that's going to be the Dark Dominion. Anyway, tries his best to get some damage in. Koa as well is gonna be boxing out Tony. He's just getting that 3 hit, and there's gonna be a 1v1 duo between Kaperi and also Move winning out that engagement. That's gonna be terrific for them. Metamorphosis is gonna be used by Move as well. Look at the damage that
ever, they are going to be out the members of DTAC Talent. They have a good position. They are going to be going on a sneaky. Is this going to be a sneaky base race? Are they actually going to try and go in with a backdoor? This is going to be insane. Can they actually do it? The recalls are coming through, but Hong attitude, man.
Welcome back to the arena of Valor International Championships 2021, and my name is Vittorio. With me is Giyang. We are now down into game number 6 of the second series of the day between Buriram United Esports and DTAC Talent, and so far we're gonna have the match point advantage onto Buriram United. If they're gonna be able to close this out on a 4-2, it is going to be a good sign for Buriram United for their redemption run here in the international championships, because so far a lot of the success here onto the international scene has been deprived on Buriram United Esports, even with their repetitive showing in the international stage. So is this going to be an advent for Buriram United, or are they still going to be shut down by their peers, which is going to be DTAC Talent, and forcing out a game number 7?
Things are looking kind of dim on the side of DTAC Talent due to the fact that it's already match point for BRU, but yeah, there is a pattern already that we have seen, so I'm not really kind of nervous just yet for DTAC Talent. Like what you said, they like pushing this into a game number 7, even though this is kind of not going out well for them with regards to the score line, 3-2 in favor of BRU, and now they are at blue side, which is kind of like one of their strong points. Now with the final pick and bans, or like global bans before the game number 7, these are the heroes that they can't use anymore, and there's a lot. Even though there are still some choices here for both teams, considering the picks that they have used already, and which are with regards to the meta, things are getting more and more limited as the time goes by. And now, as we see the pick and bans coming into place, let's see who is going to be coming on top. Will it be BRU or DTAC Talon? As so far, we have seen BRU clinching out some of the wins, especially that it's not... Sometimes their draft doesn't go out well for them, but sometimes it does work. And we're kind of going on to what works here. So now with the bans coming through, BRU now are limiting the options here of DTAC Talon, banning out the Mina, which is really kind of affecting those engages, especially with the Dark Dominion and the hook coming in with the Scythe. So now, DTAC Talon, of course, they are going to be banning out the Aya. No one wants to give out the Aya. But, you know, Taara is still available for both teams. And maybe we can see it coming into light, although there's not much sustain. And we haven't seen the best of a performance with Taara when it doesn't have an Aya guiding it.
Well, we have already seen it from the lineup of Buriram United. They like the Taara pick. And so far, it has been one of those pocket picks that has been working sometimes for Buriram, but sometimes it doesn't. But
it's a 50-50.
yeah, I mean, especially for Buriram, it's 50-50. But in this situation where there is going to be, you know, on the lineup of DTAC Talon that they don't have a lot of bursts to actually put out here onto game number 6, they can actually utilize that hero, and definitely it's going to be effective. And look at the win percentages of that Telenos, 50% only. That's a big margin. And in this kind of scenario where we're going to see Telenos being picked up in game number 6, it might be a big factor because not much of those heroes that can dive are available here on game number 6. So Buriram United can actually take this into consideration why they actually took out the Telenos now. But with the IE still being available on DTAC Talon, this might be a very dangerous situation. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be picking out Natachi for the support position of BRU because it is still going to be possible for them to get it.
They are gonna be getting it nonetheless. But I'm wondering what BRU are gonna be getting to kind of protect the Telenas, as you know they don't have the zip anymore for their taking. But there are still other options in which the Telenas can actually strive. One of which is having a really solid frontline composition and having a hostage even available for the taking here. The Roxy being finally picked up, and even having the Iggy to enable that burst damage capability, and even having a good sustained damage as well with the bombs constantly hitting the members of DTAC Talon. DTAC Talon has always been hovering this Azenka. Please lock it in. I want to see a debut of this Azenka, but of course, yeah, given that it is a crucial game, they would most probably want to get the Lorian instead, as it is a much more stable option for them to have a solid draft. Airi and Amelie also being taken already here by DTAC Talon. Having to lock this in will give that sense of security for them in this game number 6.
Yup. And with this kind of 3 picks coming from DTAC Talon, they have a lot of tankiness and also the capability to go to the backside. So Telenos might have a lot of problem, especially with the Lorian pick of iPad Pro, because she needs a lot of free looks and also a lot of protection just to get her free hits. And the only thing that you can rely to actually dodge the skill shots is going to be the flicker. And the skill set of Lorian can actually chase down that flicker. So it might be a factor on the winning condition of BRU if they're going to be able to protect Telenos to a point where she gets that mid-game buff. But if she doesn't, DTAC Talon is definitely taking this with a lot of the late game potential on their side. Freedom United needs to play this smart, and since they didn't pick out Itachi just yet, if DTAC Talon doesn't ban that out, it is going to be a very, very viable laner for them.
Yeah, that's true. And as we go into the second banning phase of this potential last game, we do see the Laville being taken away here alongside the possible Lubu. Meanwhile, DTAC Talon are removing the Key and the Alice away from DRU, as we did see an okay performance with DTAC Talon with this pick. And now, ooh, the Wisp being hovered right now by DTAC Talon. This is kind of surprising. But also, I'm also looking forward to a strong performance with this. But maybe, possibly, this can have a better impact because of the Flying Spear. Slims, and that can enable the dives here of DTAC Talon if, you know, Erez is going to be hitting those Flying Spears onto the members of BRU, particularly the Iggy and the Telenos, which are going to be kind of closing the distance in a way whenever they try to engage. If DTAC Talon are going to be able to catch them off guard, then that will be their window of opportunity, and definitely this is going to be a lock-in by DTAC Talon.
Right now, we're going to see a hover onto the Tachi by KSSA, and I guess this is one of those picks that they can actually utilize. And with the Avoy being given to Buriram United, they are looking to have all of the meta picks left for them. But this is an engagement comp wherein you need a lot of damage to scale. Avoy can definitely scale in the early game even without the damage items, but on the others like Telenas, who needs it heavily, are they going to be able to scale Telenas to the point wherein they're going to be obliterating the front line of DTAC Talon, with the Amelie and the Irie actually being a threat? And if you add the Lorian to the mix, it is going to be a very, very scary combination on DTAC Talon. And if you add Ormor as well, that's a lot of diving potential. A front line onto NTNZ using that Amelie or maybe the Irie, and whoever uses that Amelie is definitely going to be a tanky front line.
Yeah, it is a solid tank nonetheless, but we are going to be seeing an Ormar in this pick by DTAC Talon. And okay, I'm having mixed emotions here because we have only seen Ormar being picked out once, just once by one team, you know, in one of their games, and it didn't really pan out the best for them. It turned out to be a loss. So not much info with this pick. I want to know your thoughts about this, because with the composition right now, I was initially leaning towards DTAC Talon, but now with the Ormar pick, I'm kind of going on to PRU instead.
Well, in the lineup department, I do think BRU has something that is going to be workable for them, especially if they're going to be able to scale the Telenos. But that's a what if. Not like DTAC Talon, who has a secure late game for themselves on the IUE, on the Lorian, and of course, Slims scales well all as well if he gets that damage boost. But it is going to be more secure for DTAC Talon on the late game, since the IUE doesn't fall off in effectivity in any parts of the game when he gets those damage items. Not like on BRU, if Telenos is going to be shut down as early as the mid game, then definitely DTAC Talon is going to be forcing out that round 7.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle of strengths here for both sides. Who is going to be coming on top? Will it be DTAC Talon, or will it be BRU? Can DTAC Talon push this to a game number 7? We are about to find out as we head down into this potential last game. Game number 6, as BRU is having this lead. And with the pros and cons that we did talk about earlier, let's see who is going to be coming on top this time. Tony takes Bit of damage coming in here from Nunu, as that is his goal. A fast clear initiated here by BRU to enable their invade potential here towards the members of the DTAC Talon. But KSSA needs to be playing this out safe, as he can get punished if ever DTAC Talon actually goes in and, you know, turn onto him, as BRU having a good clear, even taking a camp away from Tony, as BRU just constantly trying to apply pressure here onto DTAC Talon. And TNZ zoning out Overfly away from that neutral objective while they wait for the top side to be available for the taking here, as BRU will contest this for sure. They want to have that initial advantage towards this game, but this might actually attract a team fight that BRU so far has a little bit of an upper hand. But let's see who is gonna be having the utmost advantage, as F1 is away still from the objective. He is still on the top side, the river. Now looking to clear the mid lane to apply pressure here onto iPad Pro to respond to this objective, as the Spirit Sentinel is being started right now by BRU with a fast clear here, especially with the help of Nunu. They are gonna be successfully zoning them out in a potential 1v1 here in the mid lane as well, as we see iPad Pro getting dived by F1. A potential first blood as the objective spawn right now. Abyssal Dragon and the Dark Slayer gonna be available for the taking, as F1 and the Overfly starting the Abyssal Dragon, but if there is a potential dive here by iPad Pro and NTNZ, so they have to be really careful in the way they are approaching this initial objective. KSSA is gonna be aiding a helping hand as they secure this objective right now. NTNZ almost gets dived here by F1, as BRU are just continuously applying pressure, and now Happy might actually get taken down as first blood by KSSA secured. And now DTAC Talon might actually be struggling in the early game. A 1.2k goal lead established by BRU.
That is going to be a questionable decision onto the part of Happy, who doesn't have a lot of backups in the area. He is not going to be able to scale. Yeah, you have the damage reduction, but that's still a lot of the members from Buriram United. And with Nunu being able to spam that shadow bomb on you, you could have just given that kind of objective and actually play it out where you are going to get the other resources in the map. But we're going to see a secure kill on F1. So that's going to be a trade from DTAC Talon. Although the 1k gold lead is already there. And yeah, it's definitely going to be felt still by DTAC Talon. Especially we're still in the early parts of the game.
Yeah, it's relatively early to make assumptions on who is gonna be winning this, but so far, you know, BRU are kind of popping off, being really active in terms of engaging and rotating across the map, and F1 has been popping off with this AOE pick. The potential of a dive towards DTAC Talon should always be considered and respected here by DTAC Talon. But we're seeing some folks coming in and engage here onto Nunu. This can be detrimental to BRU as Nunu falls down. DTAC Talon find an opening, and they're not gonna be letting it slip away from their hands.
Yup, and we're gonna see some advantage now for DTAC Talon, already securing their second kill. But in terms of the gold, we're still seeing Buriram United just steadily getting and consistently going in for all of those wave clears and also the resources that they can muster. And F1 is going to be starting it out again. Tony might be caught out. That's going to be the spin from that Ormar. He's going to be taken now with Overfly getting that Agnes Crypt. KSSA adds himself to actually get a little more damage and slow. And the true damage is going to be enough to deter the members of DTAC Talon to actually go there. NTNZ is going to be spotting out Overfly, but with the tankiness of that Roxy, they're not going to be able to actually capitalize on taking out Overfly. The Slayer has been secured here by Buriram United, adding more gold to themselves, and they are going to secure this Might Golem. And Tony goes in. That's a lot of stunts being felt. KSSA might be in danger. The explosive shield being used. Happy as well is going to be entering the fray, but with the stuns there, he has been stun locked. And D-Tak Talon again gets that kill.
Yeah, but the gold lead still remains in favor of BRU. A 1.5k, well, relatively high enough in this early game, just 6 minutes in, as BRU continues to pressure, especially with objective takes. They have taken both the Slayer and the Abyssal Dragon a while ago, and now as hostage taking happens, Happy is gonna be the victim. So that's gonna be a 1-kill trade. Immediately F1 now diving onto NTNZ, but has to keep watch. Tony is here. He is gonna be falling back towards his teammates. As now they funnel onto Tony, punishing his response, but with the amount of sustain that he does have, he's gonna be able to disengage successfully. Overfly this time is going onto iPad Pro, just trying to engage on him, and with the hostage taking once again, he is gonna get kidnapped and killed. Now D-Tak Talon are kind of struggling with these pick-offs that BRU are constantly making, and now after a tower, they are going onto this Abyssal Dragon uncontested since iPad Pro is down. And this is going to be increasing their lead to almost 3,000 in this early game. This is going to be a bit troubling towards D-Tak Talon, as they can't find a way to actually enter this early game. Now as the damage comes through, F1 disengaging leaves a significant mark on their HP bars. We're not even taking into consideration the scaling here of Fox, and he has been farming out safely with a 1k gold advantage towards his respective marksman Erez. And as the game goes on, things are getting out of hand here for D-Tak Talon, as Foxen is knocking on this mid-tier 1. They are going to be getting it and securing more gold in the process. And now KSSA diving into the front. Nice burst damage coming in here from Nunu. And as this is going on, Overfly is just split pushing onto the side lane, and Fox and even another tower secured to enable their team even more. Gold lead is still not reaching 3,000, but it's still going there, as the Dragon and the Slayer objectives spawn up. KSSA starting it up with the help of the other members of BRU, and it's only a matter of time before they secure it uncontested.
Yes, and with the Holy Dragon being started here by Buriram United, that's going to be adding another global gold advantage to the side of BRU. And with F1 being so mobile, it is going to be hard for D-Tak Talon to actually match the pace of the wave clears that we're seeing for BRU, and also the range of damage that we're seeing from the Telenos and also the Iggy is actually affecting the game to the point that we're seeing that D-Tak Talon is actually being pushed back into the side of the map. The Infinite Slayer is now going to be started here with KSSA in the mids. F1 is going to be joining in the fray. Look at the damage coming in from the Foxen in F1. Even with the damage reduction that they have from killing the Holy Dragon, they are still going to have substantial damage being dealt. And Tony is going to spot out KSSA and the Foxen here on the top lane, while we're actually seeing that Happy is trying to take some camps to maybe get these stacks up, and the Gus is going to get a hit. NTNZ is doing his best. Is he going to be caught out? The Ember's Gaze again. The Orb is going to be procced out. He is going to be pulled with the Agnes Grip, and F1 secures that kill. Buriram United is now knocking on the doors of D-Tak Talon. The Star Sky is going to be procced out to actually deter that push. F1 doesn't continue. He just swings to actually scare the members of D-Tak Talon. At that point, KSSA is going to be hit with the Flying Spear, getting the attack speed up on Erez. But with the kind of long-range damage that we're going to expect from Buriram United, they are not going to be able to engage freely. and with the Foxen and also F1 gonna try to go for that push, and that's also the Cliffbreaker being used to deter them with a slow, and that's an Ember's Gaze as well. Look at the Shadow Bomb now. It's gonna be Alpha Pro does his best. It's gonna be the Dragon Claw being used by F1. Disengages with the Dragon Slash, and Happy might be able to take down F1, but there's a 4-man push here, and that's the Agnes Grip getting a miss. A Star Sky is gonna be procced out. The Orb is going to be on time. The Flying Spear is gonna get a hit, and the Infinite Slayer is gonna be taken out as well. But we're gonna see a peel from the Foxen. Are they gonna be able to get that kill? Then the Arrow of Chaos is gonna be used again, and the Ryu as well. That's a standing tall being used by Tony with an additional stun with the Gut Punch, and the Dragon Strat is gonna be used. Look at the damage there. A lot of AoE damage has been procced out on the side of the Talon, and they are gonna be able to successfully defend at the cost of the health of the towers.
Yeah, at least they managed to defend those inhibitor towers, but BRU are taking their camps once again to scale up even more. We're seeing now almost 4,000 gold lead by BRU, and not even taken into consideration the other neutral objectives being taken right now by BRU. The jungle camps, they are securing, and now they're piling onto the bot side. 2 versus 4. Who is going to be winning? Can they actually disengage successfully? The answer is yes, but they're going to be zoned out away from this Holy Dragon that BRU are going to be happily taking. This is a free objective. This is going to allow them to snowball even further. Now going on the road towards this 5,000 gold lead of Burirang United. Now they're just packing towards this top side river, allowing them to have this cover of this, you know, red side jungle of DTAC Talon, in which DTAC can't actually contest the Slayer that is about to spawn if ever BRU are going to be opting to secure this. They're now pathing towards that location, and of course, with the amount of damage they do have, it's only going to be a matter of time before they secure it quite quickly, perhaps, without DTAC Talon even coming close towards this objective. F1 will be the one to secure it, and they are even zoning DTAC Talon away from this red side jungle. And now, in a blink of an eye, 5,000 gold lead almost secured here by BRU as they are grouping up once again here in the mid lane. F1 is in the bottom lane, making sure they have all 3 waves crashing down towards the base of DTAC Talon. They're sending out NT and Z to clear out the way, but here comes Overfly. The ulti from iPad Pro is gonna get dodged along with the flying spear here of Ares, and this will buy enough time now for BRU to actually damage this inhibitor tower, which is gonna fall down quite quickly. Now F1 diving into the front, huge damage coming in, and now multiple resources expended by both sides, but not much, only to F1 on the ulti department as they are looking to dive here into the top side. Overfly leading the pack. The stun will connect onto KSSA, but now with the base being blown upon, only the bot side inhibitor tower remaining alive as DTAC Talon looks to group up to defend this inhibitor tower. Can they actually do so? Here comes the entry coming in from F1 onto the backside. iPad Pro takes a bit of damage, but so does F1. He falls back for the meantime, gazing some health on the neutral objectives. Now, DTAC Talon still continue to group up. They have a lot of time to actually recuperate before the objectives spawn up back again, as they are, you know, scattering, you know, backing off for the meantime. BRU collecting themselves, grouping up once again here, and as the damage of Nunu is just hurting them slowly but surely. Now they get the CC onto KSSA. Can they actually dive? They are overcommitting. The Agnes Grip pulls them so much further away from the other teammates, but now Happy is gonna get taken down. F1 with a second life. They are splitting DTAC Talon apart, and even though they get F1, this is still numbers advantage for BRU. Will they actually engage here into the bot side? No, they are gonna be happy with the kills that they have gotten, and they will reset for the meantime.
And we're gonna see here that Burirang United was able to get 2 of the inhibitor turrets. 1 turret left, and we're gonna see a lot of holes already on the side of DTAC Talon. but they still have the capability to win this. Maybe if they're gonna be able to get this Dark Lord Slayer from Buriram United, but that's a maybe. We all know that it is gonna be hard with Defoxin and Overfly in the front, who is just gonna be harassing the members. And if Overfly gets a lock in on anyone here, like NCNZ, Happy, or even iPad Pro, they are gonna have the not the best of times, because F1 can just barrel down into the back lane and try to kill Ares and also iPad Pro. If he's gonna be able to do that, we're gonna see a difference here. We're in they are gonna be forced to go for the defense, and with the Dark Lord Slayer up already, that's gonna be forcing to rotate onto the bot lane. I think the best time here is to get a kill. Nunu is in the mid lane to get that clear. Tony is gonna be spotting out Defoxin and KSSA, trying to take the Dark Lord Slayer, and the Flying Spear is not gonna get a hit again. The Attack Talon are just moving in unison, actually trying to scare down Buriram United to not get the Dark Lord Slayer. If Buriram United actually takes this without any kind of contest, they're going to be winning this. And Happy is going to be using the Enrage as a Star Sky from iPad Pro. Is going to be used. No one's going to be hit. And it is going to be an overextension. iPad Pro might be taken out here right now with all the damage there. But we're going to see the Foxen falling down from Tony and Ares. KSSA is in danger here. F1 as well. Going in for a 1v1 with Happy. Is he going to be able to safely escape? That's the Dragon's Rat actually being used, but the body block from Tony is going to do it. And this is a 4-man engage. Nunu is going to be left for the defense. Will be enough, and he is going to be hit with the Flying Spear. But with KSSA in the area, that's a lot of damage as well. The Disrupt is going to be used to deter the skill. And also, look at that. That's going to be the win for
Oh my gosh!
United Esports winning without any kind of backdoor.
How could I? Oh my gosh, this is, oh no! That is the worst possible moment, worst possible way to actually lose a game. And the best possible thing for BRU, it was almost, it was already the tipping point. The composition is starting to fall off. Late game is starting to go in favor of the Tactile, but all of a sudden, the minor mistake once again. That one thing, the curse of the Tactile this time is the minion, allowing BRU to clinch out this game, to clinch out this series, and now they are gonna be the ones to move up towards the lower bracket finals to challenge Hong Kong Attitude, whoever is gonna be the one to be facing off V Gaming. And it started off strong for BRU. Yeah, it started off strong for them. A battle here and there for both sides, and for a while BRU took control, but DTAC Talon have, held their ground, defending their base for so long, and they finally have found the perfect opportunity to contest that Dark Lord Slayer, taking out 3 members of BRU in exchange for just iPad Pro. That was the best possible time for them to actually push, but they forgot one thing, just one thing. The top lane was pushed already earlier, and the waves were slowly pushing towards their base, and there was a huge wave crashing down towards their nexus, and unfortunately no one was there to defend it. Now BRU, with that kind of luck, no longer they are called the cursed team, they are the lucky team now to have that wave. Oh my.
It's just, I don't know. This is a different kind of backdoor. Winions are back, ladies and gentlemen, here in the international stage. And yeah, that was a very, very good match for BRU and the Tactalen. I actually didn't expect that was going to be the ending of this series. I thought that it would have been a bang, at least. But, a win is a win. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
I mean, it's the fault of DTAC Talent for not actually checking out the waves. And we saw a lot of big minions onto that last wave. And it resulted to a very, very fast take onto the Nexus. Even faster than any backdoor that I've seen so far here in the AIC.
It's like all the minions had an OT of the Lubu. Everyone had conquered. They were just attacking the Nexus quite fast. I thought it was just gonna be naturally cleared by the tower. So I was just like, okay, maybe it's gonna be defended by one of the members of the Tactile. But no, the Nexus was so low already. And it's just like 4 minions still left to take it down. And it was just there. I mean, it is what it is. BRU with a clutch win with the help of the minions, the sixth man of the team.
It is gonna be very, very unfortunate, but it is already done, and we've already witnessed that it happened. DTAC Talon definitely fell off in that draft. One of the reasons there is the Amelie, the questionable plays coming in from Happy. Happy always giving out easy kills to Buriram United. And they could have closed it as clean as it gets. If you give a lead on a damage comp, you are going to regret it, definitely in the mid game. They were already scaling to the point that they were going to have the advantage over Buriram, who was not really, they were not really organized going into the late game. So in terms of being in the rotations of the Tactalan, they were already up and beyond. So looking at the scoreboard, that's a very, very close scoreboard wherein Buriram United actually was almost trailed back by the Tactalan. We're going to see an 8-7, a 1-kill advantage for Buriram United. This is not a dominating match. You can see even in the gold deficit, that's a 3k gold only, which is going to be winnable in certain situations. And also, in terms of the objectives though, you're going to see Buriram United taking it all with that Telenos pick, who was fairly protected just because of Overfly and KSSA always catching in the spears, always trying to deter anyone that goes in. If someone goes in, you're going to be pulled by the Agnes script. And that is the game number 6.
Yeah.
We're not going to see DTAC Talon, the AWC champions, and we saw champions do fall here in the AIC. Buriram United is going to have a step forward and is moving in tomorrow's losers the lower bracket finals against Hong Kong Attitude, and the MVP of game number 6 is going to be KSSA with an 87.5% KP KDA of 314. Damage dealt is 31k, but for sure the damage taken is going to be substantial. Roll goal difference 1k, MVP points 11.0, and this is his 4th MVP of the tournament. We're going to see more spectacular performance on this support as we move into the finals of the lower brackets. And we're going to see who is going to be facing V Gaming, the most dominant team in the AIC 2021 so far. And that is everything that we are going to show you here on today's English commentary broadcast. So, do you have any words to say, Yang, to all of the viewers?
Well, I would like to thank all the viewers, of course, for sticking around despite the technical difficulty that we have experienced. Many people are still here, and I thank every single one of you, especially for sticking around and having to witness this, kind of the surprise ending of the series. Congratulations, of course, to BRU and a very, very, strong performance by both of the teams. Unfortunately, like what you said, it is really true. Champions do fall, and DTAC Talon has fallen out of the AIC 2021 because of the plays made here by BRU, and they are gonna be the ones. BRU are gonna be the ones to challenge Hong Kong Attitude, and tomorrow we will find out who is gonna be the one challenging V Gaming on the last day, the grand finals on Sunday.
Yeah, and if you guys are actually wanted to see the schedule, you can actually see them after our um, our departure onto your screens. So if you guys want to stick around, you are welcome to. And in behalf of all the production staff, the VSPN, Garena, Tencent Games, and of course from Arena Valor, we thank you to the bottom of our hearts for actually staying with us and actually enjoying the game. And once again, this is the Arena Valor International Championships 2021. My name is Vittorio, and this is Kiang. We'll see you guys again in tomorrow's podcast.